Welcome to It's Not Soccer. Subscribe for more football news.
Kylian Mbappe's current contract with Paris Saint-Germain makes him the highest-paid player in the history of football, according to reports from the French media. Many expected Mbappe to depart the Ligue 1 giants in the summer when his last contract expired, with Florentino Perez waiting in the wings to make him Real Madrid's latest Galactico signing. But having waited until the 11th hour, the World Cup winning forward had great leverage when negotiating a new deal at the Parc des Princes, as the reported figures of his latest contract show. The numbers in Mbappe's current contract are truly mind-blowing, especially when you place them in the context of the most expensive contracts in football history. Here are the top 7. Note: all figures come via French outlet Le Parisien. 7. Paul Pogba, Man United, €113 million 5 years, from 2016 to 2021. The Carrington Academy graduate left United on a free in 2012. He then helped Juventus get back to the top and established himself as one of the best midfielders in Europe in the process. Having won 4 successive Scudetto and played in a Champions League final, it was always going to cost United a pretty penny to get him back. Not only was his reported £89 million fee a world record, but the contract negotiated for the player by infamous superagent Mino Raiola was one of the most expensive ever seen. Pogba earned over €100 million over the course of the 5-year deal he penned on his return in 2016. United activated a 1-year extension in the deal and he ended up staying for a 6th year, departing on a free to Juventus for a second time in 2022. The France international lifted the League Cup and Europa League trophies during his first year back, but since then endured 5 long and frustrating trophyless seasons. It's difficult to argue United got their money's worth, given they invested over £200 million on the player all in. 6. Gareth Bale, Real Madrid. €178 million 6 years, from 2016 to 2022. In October 2016, Gareth Bale signed a new contract at Real Madrid that made him the best-paid player in world football. There was a logic to it at the time. The Welshman's moments of magic helped deliver 2 Champions League trophies. A further 3 La Liga titles followed that contract renewal, but Los Blancos ultimately saw diminishing returns in his latter years. It was kind of sad to see Bale as a peripheral squad player by the end of his 8-year stay at the Bernabeu. But those exorbitant wages explain why he stayed until the end of his contract, eventually leaving on a free in 2022. 5. Cristiano Ronaldo, Juventus, €220 million. 4 years, from 2018 to 2022. In the summer of 2018, Juventus had won their 7th Serie A in a row. With Italy well and truly conquered, they set their sights on the next frontier, Europe. The old lady had finished runners-up in the Champions League twice in the preceding years, and the mega-money signing of Ronaldo was thought to be the last piece of the puzzle to take them that next step. They paid a club record €117 million to sign the Portuguese icon, who was the European Cup's all-time top scorer and had just lifted old big ears for a 4th time in 5 years. They also handed him a massive 4-year deal worth over €200 million. Ronaldo, inevitably, scored plenty of goals, but things didn't quite go to plan. They retained the Scudetto in 2018-19 and 2020-21, making it 9 in a row. But they went backwards in Europe, being eliminated by Ajax, Lyon and Porto during his 3 years there. By 2021, they'd also been knocked off their perch in Italy, crawling to an underwhelming 4th-place finish. Ronaldo left Turin with a year left on his deal, but has remained well remunerated. 4. Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid, €220 million. 5 years, from 2016 to 2021. A month after Bale's new deal, Ronaldo followed suit and once again became Los Blancos' top earner at the Bernabeu by signing a bumper 5-year contract extension. At that point, he was already Madrid's all-time top goalscorer and allowing him to run down his contract was unthinkable. But he didn't stick around to see out the deal, flouncing off to Juventus, having spoken about feeling underappreciated. "I felt it inside the club, especially from the president, that they no longer considered me the same way that they did in the start," he said. "In the first 4 or 5 years there I had the feeling of being Cristiano Ronaldo," he told France Football. Less afterwards. The president looked at me through eyes that didn't want to say the same thing, as if I was no longer indispensable to them, if you know what I mean. Madrid got 450 goals out of Ronaldo during his peak years, and turned a profit, selling him at the age of 33. Not bad business, that. 3. Neymar, PSG. €267 million 6 years, from 2017 to 2023. No wonder Neymar left Barcelona, with this kind of cash on the table. That's on top of the €222 million release clause that PSG paid for the Brazilian. A head-spinning number, all in. 2. Lionel Messi, Barcelona. €555 million 4 years, from 2017 to 2021. Such was Messi's status, popularity and on-field importance at Barcelona. Former President Josep Maria Bartomeu can reasonably argue that he had little choice but to give in to the Argentinians' wage demands and make him the highest-paid footballer in the world. But this was just part of the club's reckless financial mismanagement, which eventually resulted in the whole house of cards falling down, with Lionel Messi saying a tearful goodbye to the only club he'd ever represented in the summer of 2021. Barcelona literally couldn't afford to keep him, which tells you something about where they went wrong. 1. Kylian Mbappe, PSG. €630 million. 3 years, from 2022 to 2025. Mbappe will earn more per year than Bale earned in the entirety of his 6-year deal at Madrid. No wonder he stayed put.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, It's Not Soccer, for more football news.